So after months of waiting and months of speculating, Warren Gatland has finally unveiled his 33-man World Cup squad. And there's some interesting choices. So let's not mess around and get straight into it. I'm going to, of course, begin at the beginning with the props. He's gone with Corey Domachowski, Nicky Smith, Gareth Thomas, and then Thomas Francis, Dylan Lewis and Henry Thomas. I don't really think there's any surprises here. Not really sure who his starting pair will be. I would probably go for Nicky Smith and Henry Thomas, but I'm really happy to see Domachowski make the squad. Other than that, it's the players that we were expecting to see. Moving on to the hookers, we have Elliot D, Ryan Elias and Dewi Lake. This is where my first intrigue has popped up, and that is twofold. So we know that Elias and Dewi Lake will be fit for the World Cup, or he's expected to be fit for the World Cup. And the other thing is Dewi Lake is co-captain with, spoiler alert, Jack Morgan. This to me is interesting. I'd like to know what you guys think, but I've never been a fan of the co-captain situation. I understand that both of these are young guys and he wants to give them both an opportunity, and he's done this in the past, but I just feel like when it's co-captains, there's an opportunity for wires to get crossed and conflict and just mixed messages, etc. But yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments what you think and we'll have a discussion about it. So now let's move on to the tall guys. We've got Adam Beard, Dav Jenkins, Will Rowlands and Chris Chinzer. I don't think there's any surprises here, maybe the only surprise being that Chinzer is in within the second rows. We expected him to be in the squad, but maybe more in the back row cover. But it makes sense, he can cover second row and everywhere in the back row, so useful player. And talking of the back row, we have Tane Basham, Dan Lydiat, Jack Morgan co-captain, Talupe Falatau, who is named in the squad, Tommy Raffel and Aaron Wainwright. Relieved to see Falatau in there. They have, in fairness, been saying he's going to be fit and he's tracking the right way, but we didn't know. But he is named in the squad, so hopefully he's going to be ready for the Fiji game. If not starting, at least on the bench, and hopefully get some minutes in his legs. The only other thing to really talk about is Basham getting the spot. Congratulations to him. I said in my last couple of videos that he impressed me and I was hoping he would be on the plane. Plumtree does miss out. I don't know whether that is his injury is not going to be back or he just didn't get picked, but yeah, he's probably the more noticeable absentee. So that's the pack. He's named 19 forwards. I think maybe Sam Parry can count himself a little bit unlucky maybe. He thought he probably had a good chance, I would have thought, but obviously the two injured hookers being available, and perhaps maybe one of the second rows getting left out for Chinzer because of potentially Chinzer's versatility, and they might feel a little disappointed to not make the squad, but neither of them really made themselves sort of undroppable, unfortunately, in the warm-up games that they played. But if there's anyone you think I've missed that deserve to have been in there that I haven't spoken about, let me know in the comments if you agree with his pack or not. But let's move on to the backs. A potential surprise here, only naming two scrum halves in Gareth Davis and Thomas Williams. Kieran Hardy didn't have a great game against South Africa, but I thought he may take three specialist scrum halves because it's such obviously a specialist position. But unfortunately for Kieran Hardy, he didn't have a great game against South Africa, and unfortunately for him that might have cost him his spot on the plane. But no doubt for him, he will be like on reserve in case of an injury and he'll get called straight up. So maybe you should subscribe to the channel and then I'll let you know if that happens. But that's enough about the scrum halves. Let's move on, and we're looking at another potential surprise here with Dan Biggar, Sam Costello and Gareth Anscombe being named in the squad. Obviously Biggar, no surprise. I'm happy for Costello, but Anscombe not playing a minute of rugby and being able to get named in the squad may be a little bit shocking. I don't know if shocking's actually the right word. We know that Gatland likes him and he's obviously a top professional, but I don't put him in the same category as Falatau, who is just should be in the squad no matter what. I think Anscombe's saving grace was Owen Williams didn't really put his hand up and demand that he was in the squad, and also Anscombe being able to cover fullback is a big bonus for him. And I'm not a massive fan of him playing fullback, but he has played that role for Wales in the past. And as long as he is not going to be taking any minutes away from Costello, then, you know, it is what it is. Now, let's move on to the centres. He's gone with Mason Grady, George North, Nick Tompkins and Johnny Williams. This position to me was a bit of a shootout. We knew George North was going to go, and probably Tompkins with his experience. But the other 2 spots were up for grabs. I thought he would go with Grady. He seems like he fancies him as one for the future, and I think he is. I don't know if I feel safe with him defending in the centre, but he can cover wing, so I think that was also probably taken into consideration. But Johnny Williams may be a surprise to some people. Llewellyn played well in his opportunities, as did Joe Roberts, and I wouldn't have been mad with either of those going ahead of Johnny Williams. But as I've said before, Johnny Williams is probably our most complete centre, especially at 12. And you saw glimpses against South Africa what he could do when given an opportunity. I certainly wouldn't call him lucky to be in the squad, but I would say that Llewellyn and Roberts may be a little bit unlucky, if that makes sense. But those guys are young, no doubt they'll have more World Cups to come. And finally, moving on to the speedsters at the back. No real surprises here. He's gone with Josh Adams, Rio Dyer, Lee Halfpenny, Lewis Rees-Zammit and Liam Williams. The only one there would have been if perhaps Cuthbert played on the weekend and had a good game. He could have been battling out with Dyer, but no surprises. He's had no minutes, picked up another injury. So yeah, just no surprises there really. They pretty much picked themselves. But that, my friends, is your 2023 World Cup squad. No huge surprises. He did allude to the fact that he could name co-captains, but I didn't think he would. I thought he would go with Jack Morgan. There was a few players on the peripherals who could have gone into the squad, particularly maybe at centre, but personally I have no complaints. If you do, please let me know in the comments. And as we approach the World Cup, I'll be releasing more rugby content, so please subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. Thanks for watching, bye.